I don't think a building should be no more than 8 stories.
Right.
Okay. And how did your family end up living in the projects?
Well, my father worked for the Cook County Correctional Center. My mother worked for Alden's, and neither of them really made a lot of money at the time. And then they had like 4 girls, and of course we all went to school. And at the time, we were able to move into projects and not pay a large amount for rent, and we were able to save money. And our goal was to go into projects, live there for anywhere from 2.5 years to 3 years to get on our feet and then move on.
Okay.
And that was basically the goal of the projects during that time. Move in, get yourselves together, and move out.
And Miss Napoleon, how were the conditions at the time that you all lived in the projects?
Well, at the time that we lived there, we had a butler, and we had flowers, and we had a commission. There was like there was a set. They had an office down on 22nd Street. So if your children got in trouble, if they got in trouble like 2 to 3 times, you could get put out of the project. So our mom had to go to take meetings and things like that whenever we got in trouble. But there was also the positive side as well, because that made us, not violent during that time period. And they also put together programs like, I took a modeling class on how to walk, etiquette on how to sit, how to eat. They had all type of little programs at that time.
And I took cooking classes.
Okay.
220 East 63rd.
It was a village raising, how did they say that?
It takes a village
to raise a community raising a village. But yeah, we all came together as one.
And where was 220 located?
It was located between Indiana and Prairie.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you how good the building was and how beautiful it was. Because they actually built a Roberts 500 hotel across the street from our building.
And we watched it being built on the summer nights on the gallery, because we didn't have bars that went all the way up. We could look over the gallery.
Exactly.
Kind of hang across it a little bit, not too much, because we were pretty far up.
We had grass, we had flowers, we had even a swing set. We had a playground.
Yes, we
in
did.
the backyard.
They took us on outings. I remember when they took us to the sand dunes. When we moved in, I don't know if you remember, Marilyn, but they had to interview our families.
Yes.
And they sent someone out to see how we were living before we moved in. You couldn't just move in just because, there was a vacant apartment that needed to be rented. You had to go through an interview process.
Right. I think the reason why the projects is the way it is right now, the little bit that are standing, is because, like Lynn said, they don't interview you. Anybody can get up in there, and they let these gangs come in and take over to the point where the police are scared to go into the projects and do their job.
We moved out before it was torn out.
We were not forced to move out. My father got a better paying job, and we moved to, we moved out of the projects and moved into our own home, single family home.
I used to walk down this street all the time, Prairie. There was a service station right here. It's gone too. It was called the Washington Park Gardens. I watched Robert 500 be built on 63rd Street. I miss them. I was sad, but you can understand why they tore them down. They had to put the bars up, the killings. I used to go out. I used to walk the steps at midnight. No one would fool with you. It was clean.
And did you ever visit other projects like the Robert Taylor Homes?
I used to visit the Robert Taylors. I used to visit Stateway, Cabrini, Dearborn Homes, the Ickies.
And how did they differ from the projects that you lived in?
Ours was more centralized. It was only one, whereas with the Ickies you had more than one, with the Dearborns more than one, and Robert Taylor's like in section. Did you live on 49, crossing to South, 51st, 55th was where it stopped off.
I stole a pickle from Vito's. just because me and my girlfriends, you know how they challenge.
Did it used to be right here?
We all stole something.
Right here.
It was right here, and it's set by itself.
And it's set by itself.
That's what made our projects unique, because they stood by themselves.
What you mean stood by themselves? Was it when you lived there? Was it as bad as it is now?
No, we had no bars up. There was a committee there. If there was a problem with families not getting along, you had to go to the committee. There was no fighting. There was a laundry area. It was clean. It was a place where you moved into to save and moved out, and then you got your home.
What happened?
I was picking my daughter up from the babysitter in Stateway Gardens, and they had been, I guess, watching me. They knew I had a baby, and they grabbed me around the neck and put a gun to my head. Instead of moving out, people had kids, and their kids it became a generation. Jobless, crimes, gangs got totally out of control.
Really have to talk to a person during that time to find out exactly what happened. I really do believe that they just put those people out because because certain people wanted that land so they can build overpriced condos, okay, to take over that property. And the way they did, those people were wrong.
Not in prime area like that, and I hope that they never do. I think that the people that were relocated, they're in suburbs, they're in other areas where it's not projects. I mean, now that they have Section 8, I mean, they're even able to rent homes in different areas, which if they really want to, they can give a better life for their child if they really want to.
Exactly.
He ain't going. This is Parkway Garden. And it was luxury living when we lived
Yes,
here.
it was. Simply beautiful.
Real natural food that's been shown us about this.
This is where Julius got robbed.
Okay.
Julius got robbed. When he came up in here with a cab, they set him up real good.